Welcome, everyone. It's Friday, and Good Friday at that. Crucify what? That's our topic this morning. If we look at the story of crucifixion today, what it symbolizes, the psychological meaning, it means, because remember the story, he had a choice. Well, the people had a choice. They said, well, we're going to release Barabbas, who was a thief, and we're going to, keep Jesus. We don't want to release him. That part right there. You see what it is. Sometimes we want to hold on to the old way that we do things. Sometimes we hold on to the old way that we do things. Sometimes we hold on to the old way that we do things because it is familiar, because it is a habit. But today is a great day to crucify. Crucify the old and become something new. This is what we're doing, which means we've examined our lives. We can see clearly what's going on. And we make a decision and we say, wait a minute, I don't like what I'm doing. I don't like the way this is unfolding.
I don't like it.
Right? And then we remember and we understand that, hey, it's me who's doing it. It's me who's doing it. So when you remember that it's you who's doing it, well, then nobody has to pry it from you and convince you. You've already done that. And you look at it and you say, no, this, you know what? This has to come to an end. This old part of me has to die. That's what we say. This old part, this old habit. And so then what do? Well, you decide now which new thing you want, which new experience you want to have in your life. You see that in your mind's eye. And that is what you breathe life into. As simple as that. Remember, we make that choice based upon, does that feel good enough to you? Is that good enough for you? And you say, no, it is not. Then you say, just like the potter. You see, because we think dying is that final thing. It's not. We are now like the potter on Good Friday. You have the ability to reshape your experiences. Reshape it, revise. Mold it and shape it into what you want it to be. And how do we do it? By first recognizing what is no longer satisfactory in our lives. And then we bring it to the forefront of our mind and we look at it and we say, not good enough. And then you say, what do I want to become instead? Let me rework this. Rework it. Because remember, Neville Goddard says, you are the cross. You're the cross that Jesus is on every single day. And we experience things. But we've been reminded that there's no hopeless situation anywhere. So today, if you feel like there's something hopeless, that's what you crucify. That's what you rework, remodel, reshape. And we reshape it with the acknowledgement that it is there and it's a problem. And then the second step would be to decide what would be better. And then you ask yourself, well, what would it be like if I had it? What would it be like if I had it? And you begin to experience in imagination what you would experience in reality if you were the man or the woman you wanted to be. That's what you do. So that when you rise, you now rise in a brand new way, a new configuration of yourself. In all of your glory, your splendor, with this new way. And that's why we are reminded to keep practicing the new way every day. That's what the crucifixion is. You relinquish the thing that is no longer helpful, and you reshape it, you revise. And then the new thing you rehearse until you actually stop rehearsing and just start being it. Because at first it feels kind of funny, it feels kind of new. So you see, today is not a day where we languish about and we mourn. That's not what today is for. Today is for celebration that you recognized the old self that you no longer want to be. And you say, listen, I have the power to change this. That makes today a glorious day. That's why today is a glorious day, because you and I no longer have to remain in the squalor of our minds, in that same old, same old. We've been given the keys or the potter's wheel, however you want to look at it, so that we can rework and reshape our lives. Yes? I remember in church, we used to have this song, "There's no greater love than Jesus." There's no greater love than Jesus. I remember that song. But now when you know who Jesus is, when you sing that song, it hits you differently. Why? Because there's no greater love than the one who lays down his life for his friends. Well, why would he do it? Oh, we learned that last night. Love. That's why we now know the law, from love, from grace, from mercy. I do not even want to imagine or speculate about what my life would have been like had I not known the law and how to use it. I couldn't imagine just getting up every single day and doing the same thing over and over and feeling stuck and trapped with no way out. That is why such gratitude exists for the law. Because not only have you been given the keys to set yourself free, you've been given the opportunity to do so. That's what we've been given, truly. So this day, embrace it and celebrate the fact. Whew, thank goodness. I'm so grateful. Why? Because you don't have to suffer anymore. You don't have to fret anymore. You don't have to feel like you're being dragged through life. You don't have to feel those things anymore. Well, why not? Because you now know the power lays within your bosom to change it. Listen, that's enough to make you want to do a little dance. That's what it is. So today, my beautiful friends, because I shan't keep you long, what is it that you are going to let go of today? What will you, what will you surrender today? Why? Because you are now in love with the new person that you want to become instead. And when you are in love with that new person that you say you are now becoming, well, you remain faithful from that place of love. Love keeps you riveted to your new self. As simple as that. That is the whole gist right there of Good Friday. This is why. This is why I said to someone yesterday, now you finally know what you're anchored in. Because she said to me, oh, she's so sweet. She said, Angela, I appreciate it that you teach these laws. I've changed my life, and I'm changing my life every day. And I can finally see it, what I'm doing and why I do it. And every day I'm getting more bold to practice. And I said to her, now you see where you're anchored. You're not anchored in feelings. You're not anchored in moods. You are anchored in law. Because you now know how to live your life from the inside out. That's all it is. And even if you have a moment of feeling discouraged, you know how to pick that up and reshape it and go, nah, I'm in control. And she says, I'm proud of myself. I said, you better be. You must be proud of the work that you've put in. Why is that? Because now you are seeing the evidence of your own mind on the outside, and they match. The change that you initiate internally has shown itself externally. And that's you proving to yourself what you are capable of. This is why today is a beautiful day, Good Friday. Because now you get to practice being the new, trying it on for size. You get to do that and watch it. You get to watch how the exterior lines up with your internal dialogue. And the whole time that you're watching it line up, you are so excited. You're so naturally grateful. See what you and I have been given? Let's not take it for granted. How would we take it for granted? By not practicing. So then we're just hearers of the word. But remember, because you know the law now, you have the ability to see how things turn out. Almost as if you can predict them. Almost. There's no almost. You can. Every cause has its effect, and every effect is cause. If you know the cause, well, bam, you know the effect. You know the effect, you'll bring about the cause. So you see, you can see what you're doing, and you can see it clearly. So when you don't do what you know you should do, you can see the quote unquote, the effects rolling in like a storm, and you're like, oh God, this is going to sting, isn't it? Yeah. because you're not doing what you know to do. And that's why it feels like punishment is harsh. Nah, it's just because you know what's happening. That's why it seems to be harsh. But when someone who doesn't know the law goes through this, it's just everyday life for them because they don't know. So life just seems like it's happening. So today, my beautiful friends, take your time and assess what it is you want to reshape in your life and hang it up. Because on that third day, you will rise. Remember what 3 means. It's not as in hours or days. It's just that interval of time where it takes you to get your mind in alignment, meaning you believe your imaginal act. You don't doubt it anymore. You believe in it, and you know that once you've done it, now all you do after implantation is to wait it out, and it appears. You eventually will give birth to it. Whatever that experience is. See? Look at what you've been given. Begin to celebrate that. Yeah, but I'm still on the fence. I still don't know if I believe that imagination creates reality, that the all is mind and the universe is mental. I don't know if I believe that or not. That's all right. That's a good place. Because now you get to test it. How do you think you're going to know? You'll know by practice. And how do you practice? Funny you should ask. We practice by first recognizing, quote unquote, the problem or the thorn in the paw. What is it that you don't want to do anymore? Recognize it. And then decide what you would prefer to do instead. And once you've made that choice to do this new thing, begin to experience in your imagination what you would experience in reality. So, in other words, what's the first thing you would do? Who's the first person you would tell? Begin to rehearse it. Hear your own voice telling you, or hear the person who's listening say, oh my God, that's amazing. However your personality is, simply allow it. You rehearse and rehearse. Why? Because the state that you practice has its way of showing itself. Meaning, if you've planted corn, you're going to reap corn. Period. They have to match. They have to match. So once you've seen where the problem is and chosen the solution, and then you've experienced it in your imagination, do you love it? Do you love it? Did it move you? If it didn't move you quite just yet, keep rehearsing until it does move you. What does the movement mean? It means you have successfully mentally impregnated yourself, left an impression upon your subconscious mind that can only now be replicated. That's what you do. And you, however many times in a day you go back to that, and however long you can hold that feeling for, that emerges, that you ask yourself, I wonder what it would be like if I were the person I wanted to be. Every time you ask that question and you answer it, you begin to persuade yourself that it is true. But what will solidify for you and show you that it is the truth is the way it makes you feel. The way you make me feel. Sorry. You'll know, right? So today, this Good Friday, simply choose. Choose the ideal man or woman that you want to become. And when it feels good and it moves you, you say, I am that. Well, how would you know? Because it feels that way. And now you are a new creation. You are now transformed by the renewing of your mind. See how good and pleasant it is to know the law? But not just know it, y'alls. Apply it. That is the beauty of what we've been given. And you may or may not believe me. It's okay. You don't have to believe me. You have to test yourself. What can you create deliberately? So what can you consistently and persistently rehearse in your mind's eye until it materializes in your world? What can you do? Well, test it. You know the technique now. But remember this always. It only starts off as a technique. You know, cursive is a technique of writing. It only starts off that way because you learn it, but then it stops being a thing. It stops being a technique, and it just becomes what you now say you are. I'm a fluent writer of cursive. That's what it does. And you'll notice that when you grasp that, the only thing you can say is thank you. Thank you, Father, for you always hear me. Right? And even if you, quote unquote, go back to your former self, something within you will say, hey, remember? We're different, right? We're not the same person we used to be. That little tiny reminder pops up. And you say, oh my God, yeah, you're right. And what do? You put yourself back into the desired state until you stop doing it. Why? Because now you are it. Let us take a brief moment, shall we, to welcome everyone into the space this morning. Well, look at that. It's just me and Twitter today. But that's all right. There's a replay gang for Twitter. YouTube and Facebook. Queen Marat, hello. You say hello to your beautiful girls, please. Not? It is good to see you also. And for the others who have not made yourselves known in the Facebook and YouTube chat, I see you. Fan base who's here. I'm at the top of my screen this morning. Shea Butter's in the house. Oracle Tree House. KZ. Miss Boricua. Ali is here. Is that Commander? Hello, Commander. Flo Smiles. Hey. Flo Smiles is popping with her Easter basket. PVR. I love it. I love it. She's so seasonal. Did I say Ali yet? Because once I make somebody a moderator, it shifts. So Ali and then Commander, Joaquin, Zisti, Fawn, Happy, and Moon. Now, wait a minute. Did I see 808? It's in the chat. I'm reading it. Yes, 3 is the interval of time to align your mind. Yes, it is. Commander, I like that you mentioned that. Let's what the young people say, let's wake that up. We practice by finding challenges to overcome. Well, yes and no. Remember, we're the ones making the quote-unquote challenges, right? We're the ones making it. We are the ones making the challenges because we forget what we do, right? But we practice, what we truly practice is mental movement, meaning We are practicing moving from one state to another. That's what we're doing, day in and day out. That's what we practice. Oh, symmetric. Hello. That's what we're practicing. Let me continue in the chat here. Commander says, visualize the best case. Yes, always the best case scenario. That's what you want to see in your mind's eye and feel and rehearse. Yes, feeling is the key here. It is universal. We have bodies, we can feel. Because it's the thing that you feel that you become. You act it out. Remember, when you are aroused, you act. Without arousal, there is no action. So you see, that's what's happening to us on a daily basis. Float smiles. You're so sweet. She says, every morning I get a song stuck in her head. I don't mean to. I'm glad, because I don't see you in there. There you are. I had to scroll again. There, I see you now. I am. Hello, Britt. I see you. Thank you all for being here on this lovely, lovely day. This Good Friday. Remember, as you go through this day, then you hear the bowl, because we're going to play the bowl. We'll play the recording of the bowl. But as you go through this day, you're confronted with an old way that you are so familiar of being. And you no longer want to be that. So now, let us reshape it. I don't want to say put it to death. I don't want to say that. That is harsh. But what we do is we rework it. We look at it and we say, I can make this into something more beautiful. And you reshape it. So that now you are a new creation. You're no longer what you used to be. Not at all. And remember today, as you hear the bowl, remember how you came upon the ability to change your life. Well, you may not remember that memory. You may not remember it. And that's all right that you don't, if you don't remember it. But look at what that memory now allows you to do. And you will begin to see what you're truly anchored in. You are anchored in something that is not moved. It is secure. So do you see where your security comes from? Your security does not come from anything on the outside. Well, the law is even outside of you. Oh, it's not outside of you, because we don't live from the outside, do we? We live from the inside out. So the law is within. As the Psalms would tell you, the law has been written on our hearts. Ooh, incoming bird song. Hallelujah. Good morning to you, sweet bread. Good morning. There he goes. So you see, we act according to our state. Remember that. Choose the state you want to be in. Choose the behavior you want to do. And you experience in imagination what you would experience in reality. That's what you do. Because that is the only place you can do it, is in your mind's eye. Until such time that you feel a movement where you feel this thing is real. This is right here, right now, and you feel it. And remember, the sensation you feel in your body, the sensation, relief, happiness, those are sensations. But it is the knowing or the conviction, the persuasion. You just persuaded yourself that this is it. Why? Because it moved you. And because it moved you, now you know it is real. And because you now know that it is real, you can be just like Jesus. And so he is celebrating this morning with us for real. He truly is. And that's
You couldn't hold back no more. He tried. He did. Go ahead, little buddy.
And what it sounds like? It sounds like he's saying it is finished. That's what you're saying.
That's the vibe.
Yes, exactly, Commander, exactly. Now you can say it is finished. How would you know it's finished? Because you felt the reality of it. In your bosom, you felt it. A knowing, a conviction, a surety. You felt it. Can you feel it? He's asking you. Lord have mercy. It's good to have a support chicken. So you see, when you feel it and it has moved you, you can now say it is finished. And it is only a short interval of time where what was within now shows itself on the outside. That, my beautiful friends, is Good Friday. So this morning when you hear that bowl and bird song, he's keeping saying it is finished. When you hear the bowl and bird song, what are you surrendering? What are you letting go of? What are you crucifying? Leave it there. How do you leave it? By accepting and receiving the new. That's what you do. So where's the new one? Can you see that one instead? Then embrace it fully. And just like if you go to the gym, how many times can you bring up that knowing within yourself? And how long can you sustain that knowing within you? Until such time as it becomes natural to you, which means you just do it now on autopilot because you are it. You don't have to remind yourself, you've become it now. Yes, honey, you've become it. See? Simple as that. Now, bowl and bird song. Let's get the full effect this morning. Do that. I hear you, sweet bird. I hear you. I gotta pull up the bowl. Get that volume there.
Fire up this bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Fire up this bowl. 420. It's not hey.
Yes. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Symmetric, thank you for joining us here on Twitter. I'll see you tonight, 10:45 p.m. for the Neville Goddard lecture, if you're available, darling, if you're available. Much love to you, Twitter. Twitter is closed. Let's get that water queued up. YouTube and Facebook, Ronay, Queen Marat, A-Not. And for all the others who've not made themselves known in the chat, you do know I love you and I can see you. And I'll see you tonight, 10:45 p.m. Eastern Standard. Oh, and this quick announcement. The lady at the hotel is just sorting out the mathematics because there's those 11 spots. I do believe they're all filled. Just how many people? You get your own beds, but you're in a room. So she's just doing that final count for me to say where we will be. And then she'll send me the invoice and I will hold that live stream to tell you how much our deposit is so you can get your deposits in. Okay? So don't think that I've been slacking because I'm not. That's the announcement for the September 2024 trip to Barbados, the retreat. Yes, so there's that. All right, YouTube and Facebook, I'll see you tonight.